Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. One of my viewers shared a story with me that I thought was kind of interesting. And it kind of makes you wonder, you can look at the title and you see where I'm going. It kind of makes you wonder, why would this country come up with this idea? Anyway, Rwanda is proposing that there is a nationwide database of DNA. They're proposing that their whole population be required to be entered into some type of DNA database. Now, human rights people are saying that that's not a good thing because it's going to, or perhaps may encourage governments to use this information wrongly. Now, they are claiming in Rwanda that they're hoping that it'll kind of have or give some assistance with crime to be able to identify those who commit crimes. But when you really think this out, what are we doing here with this? What are they really trying to do? And why would a country, in my opinion, a rather small country in Africa, on the African continent, why would they be the ones to suggest this? Because if something like this takes place, eventually around the world, everyone, every country, every area will develop this mandatory DNA database. Now, how will that information be used? That is the big question. Why would anyone suggest such a thing? It just kind of lets you know that, let me get up from here, walk around a bit. It just kind of lets you know that there has been too much trust put into leadership, because as the article stated, that may encourage international governments to use that information wrongly and unfairly. And so why would anyone want to have a mandatory database of DNA? We've already seen where DNA is being improperly used. It's like once you get that DNA in the system, if they want to take you down, they have samples. They can then say, okay, I place you at the scene of this particular murder, for instance, because we have DNA evidence. But what if you were nowhere near that place, but because you've given your DNA over, they are able to use it however they may? Now, you have people say, well, they can't do that. These people are doing whatever they want on this planet, and the people are just going along like blind, deaf and dumb sheep. Whatever they implement, whatever they suggest, whatever they put in place, the populations are just going right along with it. And I just think it's kind of frightening that people have been dumbed down to the point of they are actually wanting to help the system that has been put in place to do certain things to them. It's very, very unsettling to me that those in Rwanda are the ones to suggest such a thing. Why would you want every person's DNA to be in a database? This is basically saying that the population should trust its government. Governments around the world, including in Africa, have not given any reason to be trusted. They haven't given the populations a reason to trust them, but yet they want to push something like this. I would hope that if they tried to get that in certain areas, that the people would go against it and not agree with it and actually vote against it if it's ever put to vote. Because as we see right now, these governments are doing all kinds of things, and the people aren't even challenging things. That's because their focus is so much on trying to keep other populations down that they don't see how things are going to affect them in the long run. So again, I was very disappointed to see that it was someone or a country in Africa that actually suggested this, and that it's quite possible something like this may make its way around the world. You never know. Once one area puts something into place, next thing you know, you have 100, then 500, then you'll have so many countries around the world doing the exact same thing. And then it will become internationally required. You see? So we see the direction this world is going. It, in my opinion, is getting to the point where the populations are actually complicit with their own destruction. As long as they get their entertainment, as long as they get the things that make them comfortable for the here and now, many of them don't even consider their children and the lives of their children in the future. That's what it is. A lot of people are only concerned with their own selves right here and right now. But for me, I even think about the future. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren, what things are going to be like for them, you see. I mean, I know at some point the world as we know it is going to change, that things are going to be set in order when Hamashiach returns to rule, but we don't know exactly when that's going to take place. So, of course, I think about grandchildren and great-grandchildren as well. And so you have the population today that's only concerned with the here and now, what is good for them, and not what's good for the future. With that attitude, we will forever see all of the foolishness and the nonsense that we see and the things that come across the news feeds that just make you go, Okay, family, that is all for now. Just wanted to talk about this little article that was sent to me. Thanks to my viewers who do choose to send things to me, things that are of interest to me, I talk about, and some things I don't get a chance to. But that is definitely something that was of interest to me, and so I decided, hey, let's take a look at this. And yes, it sounds ridiculous. They want a nationwide database of DNA for the citizens of Rwanda. Okay. Things that make you go, Okay, family, I'm out.